Alright, I think the nerds are almost ready. I am ready. I'm excited for this. I'm also very curious what you guys are going to vote for. Two world-class players going at it. Quarterfinals. And obviously we'll keep an eye on the bracket as well. I need to close my stream here. Not the Twitch stream, but my Discord stream that I had. I would join for Reynor ShoWTimE if you're up for that. If you have the channel points for it, Mixu, I'm up for it. If not, you gotta wait in line. Reynor is ready. ShoWTimE is ready. Let's do it. Nerds are ready. But I need to close this. Now, we had 3 co-casters tonight. I think this has been enough. We're just gonna ride solo for now. And have some fun. I'm excited. I just want to chill. Have a good time. And watch a couple of video games. It was a good time. From here on out, we're gonna do what we always do. I want to take a look at the bracket. Now I realize what I wanted to do. I was distracted. Up. So Clem took out Baby Marine in the quarterfinals. Gabe is playing Mana. MaxPax is playing Gerald. PvP lately has been somewhat complicated. Then obviously MaxPax will need to be Spirit too. So there's no guarantee that the winner plays MaxPax. But based on everything that happened besides last week, it is pretty likely. You can take a tiny look at Gabe, his stream real quick. Gabe should be live. Gabe's always live. Gabe is down. Gabe is 1-1. So Hero Marine is 1-1. Game 3 is played on Alcyone between him and Mana. Would be pretty sick, by the way, if Gabe would make final. I would be very excited for that. Talk more about that later. If you guys have any updates for me, feel free to let me know. For now, let's do this. Quarterfinals.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight.
Top left side of Heartlet. We are looking at the main base of the man that's representing Basilisk. The Jack Frost era is no more. Blonde hair is gone. We're back to being an Italian playboy. This is Reynor. Bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who defeated him at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Back then we had an absolute banger, a 2-1 victory for this man. Berlin International Gaming's ShoWTimE. Lambo's listed as signed up but disappeared. Yeah, Lambo and Oliveira both signed up for the tournament, but then they had 1-0 losses in the bracket. A 1-0 loss means that it was a forfeit win and that they did not actually play. What I assume has happened, and I cannot confirm this is my assumption, so don't take this as a fact, is that they looked at their bracket, they didn't like their bracket and said it wasn't worth their time and they decided not to play. That is what I think happened. And that is not illegal. You're allowed to do that. Obviously, you shouldn't do that like every single week, but I don't think Oliveira and Lambo do that every single week. Lambo has played in like the last 10 weeklies in a row. If he did not like his bracket and he maybe wasn't feeling it, maybe he's under the weather, I don't know. He just didn't feel like playing. Hello, but I've been having an alright day. Besides my Twitch issues, but those were short-lived, so seems like it's a good day. I'm happy. Now let's hope we'll be a whole lot more happy with an awesome quarterfinals, a great semifinals, and a fantastic final. ShoWTimE is gonna go for a 1-gate Stargate, adapts into Oracles, will not come as a surprise. Small chance he makes a Void Ray first, but I don't really know ShoWTimE as much of a Void Ray first enjoyer. We know where ShoWTimE likes to go. Reynor was very aggressive in his games against Disc, but I kind of think that's something he likes to do against good Protoses, not the very best. I don't know if Reynor believes in a build like that against ShoWTimE. What I do expect from Reynor, unlike in Kato, that it's not all about the late game. I think that Reynor feels he does need to switch it up a little bit more in ZVP. Tiny bit more like Dark, as ShoWTimE cancels his Shade, by the way. Grabs a couple drones immediately. Should be able to get 3. He does not get 3. That's a great save by Reynor. So it's 2 adapts for 2 drones and some lost mining time. Couple Zerglings. I'd say that's a very even trade. I think ShoWTimE can live with that. I think Reynor can live with that. Neither player is going to be thrilled. So that should make it kind of even. If I'm the Protoss here, I'm like, yeah. It's okay-ish. As long as you now don't lose this pro, by the way, and it doesn't become a nightmare to go up to 3 bases, but I don't think that's going to be the case. It might be the case. It's a lovely pickup for Reynor. And Reynor wouldn't be Reynor if he doesn't turn around immediately as soon as Pulsar Beam is done. And he's going to try to pick up the probe one more time, but he has very few links. So that's not going to work. So it's a 15-second delay on the Nexus. You'll take that. Sitting in the car dealership. Why are we in the car dealership, Proto? I'm very excited to rent a car in America with Vicky. The first time in my life we're gonna get an American muscle car, baby. Hopefully, unless they betray us and they give us something lame. But they say they cannot promise what you order, but you'll get it or you get something similar. Well, let's see if that works out the way that we have it in mind. ShoWTimE has 2 oracles behind the main, and he's going to shade 4 adapts into maybe 2 in the natural, 2 in the third. He cancels 1 shade, lets the other one finish up. It's pretty good though, grabs 3 more. Starting to add up a little. 5 minutes into this game as the oracles are back. Queens are slipping on the job, and 1 oracle I do think is going to die here. That was absolutely going to fall. 9 drones, 8 links for 4 adapts, 1 oracle, 1 probe. I'd still say it's rather even. Losing the oracle obviously stings a little. Apparently ShoWTimE took a lot of damage from these 3 queens. They were way off creep. But they did live, and that's the most important part. For D-Mauer. Gigi Rizzi. Sounds about right, mate. I actually need to settle one more request. Remind me after this game, guys, to settle a request. Rosés _89, I believe. I got you, mate. Lambo was streaming for the day and might not have been... I saw the bracket and thought getting into the top 4 the money was far-fetched. I don't even think that Lambo cares too much about the money. I think Lambo cares about the EPT points. Obviously, everybody likes getting 50 bucks or 100 bucks, maybe 200 if you win it all. But I don't think it's the money that really inspires Lambo. Because I invite him quite often to the BBB and he has declined like the last 3 or 4 times. That is guaranteed money for a single best of 5, so that's a lot less effort. Lambo just really cares about the EPT points because he obviously wants to make it into the Esports World Cup. He's been pretty vocal about that in the past. D-Mauer going up to 4 bases, dropping a Robo Bay and a second Robo while going Blink Stalkers with +1. Hasn't really moved out with them yet. May feel that this is the time. Reynor's done a good job in spreading creep forward. What did we order? We ordered the Mustang. But will we get the Mustang? That I don't know. But if we don't get a Mustang and we get a Camaro, I'd be okay with that too. It will only be for 1 day anyway. So, but I do want to enjoy that road trip. I've made that trip many times in the past with my Volkswagen GTI back then. Never in an American car. Reynor has a lot of links, but there is no entrance into the natural. Overlord speed, guys, has been researched, and it's just links, the roaches. It is double Evo, but we're only using 1 of them. Tiny bit confused where Reynor is going here. It feels that he wants to send it. But if he does want to send it, why did he go double Evo? Why is he only using 1? And if ShoWTimE... I kind of think that Disruptors is an even better play here than Colossus, but both of those are totally fine. Colossus are very good against the Zerglings, Disruptors are very good against Roaches and Ravagers and even the Queens. Maybe 2 Colossus into Disruptors. There's also a Nidus network coming along. First Stasis Trap gets activated. I love the links. Engage early. Maybe Reynor should wait right now because Battery Overcharge has already been activated. He can just wait a little while. It's already halfway expired. First 2 Colossus are here. Reynor is maxed out. 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. He's going to get all over this 4th base, and I do think this 4th base will always fall. But Reynor wants more than just a Nexus. He wants a Colossus. He doesn't quite get the Colossus, but he does get on top of all the Stalkers. The Immortal falls. Those corrosive balls. Sweet baby Jesus. Those are the most effective Ravagers that we have seen in a while. Queens and Lings and a couple of leftover Roaches and Ravagers working on the 4th Nexus. I think we can call this attack a success. That's not enough to win the game. Because ShoWTimE is still a 3-base Proto, 65 probes, double Robo. It's Lair Tech Zerg. I think it's a good attack by Reynor. I think he's going to be happy with it. But I don't think it's over. And before you guys tell me, look at these supply. Supply doesn't matter if it's Lings and Roaches against double Robo Blink Stalker. Hero Marine just fell to Mana after saying that Mana plays nonsense. Alright, well that's a great run by Mana. Semi-finals, guys. That guy. He just never gets bad, huh? I'm waiting for the day that Mana drops to my level, but it just never seems to happen. You get a Mustang, you gotta get the V8. I don't think we can be that picky, mate, if we're just renting a car. It is just one car for 24 hours to do one little road trip. Great win by Mana. Impressive stuff. I'm always impressed by Mana, even if he's already focusing on a lot of different things in life. Whether it's his YouTube career or managing stuff for Team Liquid or being good at Stormgate. Still having all these deep runs in the weeklies. It's very impressive. ShoWTimE needs to be careful that he doesn't get swallowed up by a Zerg army on creep. But he knows that. You know that little electric Mustang? That's kind of like a mini SUV. I don't know what the name of the car is, but I'm sure you guys know. At least the car fanatics what I'm talking about. It's getting very popular in the Netherlands. Ever since I started looking for it, I see them everywhere. I've seen like 2 in Zuidland. I saw one at this little poker tourney I went to the other day. And I kind of like it. I don't know how expensive it is, but it looks kind of cool. Like a mini SUV Mustang. Good for the environment. I've got a dream, guys. Anybody got a Twitch Prime? ShoWTimE feels that this is where he wants to be. I think it's a little bit risky because there's a lot of creep. That Nova, the first one was okay. The second one actually doesn't really kill a whole lot because those units were stuck in the stasis. But the rest of the Protoss army is doing some great stuff. We do, however, have a run-by. It's a couple of Roaches, and I believe we have Tunneling Claws and Burrow, right? Yes, we had both of those things. Reynor was forced to remax 29 Roaches. Nice time Nova there. Reynor is immediately here with the Ravages one more time, spamming some of those Corrosive Vials. Doesn't really find the best connections. I think with 2 Vipers, if you can just idle in a sick Blinding Cloud or 2 or you abduct the Colossus, I think Reynor can clean this up. Is it going to be easy? No, it's never easy against Demour. Oh, that Nova came from so far, but it turned direction at the absolute last second and actually blew up like a solid 5 or 6 Roaches. Reynor hits Burrow on his entire army. Not sure if that was on purpose or not. Maybe he was hoping that there wouldn't be an observer, but there absolutely was an observer. Somebody made this game lag, by the way, for 0.1 second. I don't know who it was. But more Novas flying forward. This Protoss army just does not seem to disappear. That is a great snipe on that Disruptor. That could have blown up a solid 20 supply and could have very well been the end. Reynor is still maxed out. He does have Adrenal Glands now. Here are the Vipers. Colossus number 1 gets abducted. Colossus number 2 gets abducted. Stalkers can't blink, so these Corrosive Vials have potential. 1 low HP Colossus remaining. Both players taking severe losses here. But I think now in the end, with all the immediate reinforcements, the Zerg army should be good enough. And I think the Zerg army will be good enough to at least push ShoWTimE back for now. There's a Stasis Trap here that has a lot of potential. Ooh, that's a low supply. ShoWTimE lost his key Robo units, and sure he's a double Robo Protoss, but he has never rebuilt that 4th base. He's down to 59 probes, a Parasitic Bomb on the Oracle, and apparently that's good enough to kill it. And Reynor now fires up a bunch of Hydras, has a couple of Lurkers on the way as well. And don't forget that ShoWTimE is just working with Blink Stalkers. I kinda love to see Lynx here, by the way. Even if we only have +1 melee, we got Adrenal Glands. Lynx against a pure Stalker army. I think freaking fantastic. A couple Lurkers obviously is not bad either. I think one of the observers died there to one of those Corrosive Balls. Reynor is forced to sacrifice that base, but he still has that center base, so it's still 4 against 3. And as long as you have 1 more base, you're fine. No high ground vision here for Reynor, so the first Lurker dies. The second Lurker takes a lot of damage and will fall as well. Ambitious blink on the low ground though, but he does snipe the third Lurker too. ShoWTimE doing incredibly good here with just Stalkers, and now he probably feels that he can actually get on top of this final Lurker, and he's gonna blink into the last 2. He has just killed 6 Lurkers, guys. 6 Lurkers with Stalkers only, but obviously that doesn't come for free. Here come the Roaches to surround this Stalker army. Roaches, Lynx, and Hydras. I want to say I think it's gonna be good enough, but Reynor needs to get back on creep. Killing a few more Stalkers, and he now needs to turn around. That was insane. killing 6 lurkers with only stalkers. It started off with these 2 that didn't have high ground vision. Then he grabbed these 2 and he's like, oh fuck it, I'll grab the last 2 as well. Thank you on the thanks, matey, for the 18 months. I appreciate it. The ShoWTimE is just running out of money, and we are reaching the point where we can even abduct single stalkers, guys. And I know it looks silly, but hey, if it's a 3-base Protoss, Reynor pulling a Reynor. He got angry the other day when we called this the Reynor, but left his lurkers unattended. I think he's gonna get away with it though. This base right now in the center is making all the difference. A tiny circling run by even could really put a number on all these probes that are long distance mining. ShoWTimE snipes one more lurker, but the income for ShoWTimE is just an absolute disaster. 1400 minerals, guys. That's a 1-base economy. And a 1-base economy is not going to be good enough against everything that Reynor was still working with. After 15 minutes, Reynor takes the 1-0 lead. Fun game. Obviously, great fight in the center of the map. Reynor getting on top of those Colossus was big. Getting the Nexus was big. ShoWTimE's counter was devastating, but Reynor did a good job in this kind of darting in and out, committing, disengaging, committing, disengaging. And in the end, it was barely good enough. GG's from Hawaii. Block party threats for the 89 months. That's why I always call out that Hawaii time zone, mate. Huh. Thank you, Frank. I hope that we get as lucky and fortunate as you are. I think it's gonna work out alright. Poor Ops is what peak performance looks like. It's better to have too many observers than too few. Yeah. Fun game. Reynor very aggressive in that mid phase with all the queens. Ravagers, Lynx, killing the 4th. Happy with it. Disengaged. Transition into Hive. Transition into a couple of lurkers, but he definitely didn't rush it. How is ShoWTimE's probe count so bad? Because he lost a bunch of probes when he went up to 4 bases and he lost a base. And Reynor also had a roach run by with tunneling claws and roaches that he unburrowed in the natural in the main. I did show them, but there were just a lot of things happening in that game, so I couldn't really watch those roaches for 20 seconds because then I would have missed all the big fights. ShoWTimE is ready. Reynor says he needs a minute. Reynor is going for the spirit. Hard games. ... Nice 1-0 lead for Reynor. Basilisk in the chat. I have no idea who it is. It always makes me happy. Mana is also hosting a game on Oceanborn. I guess Mana is already playing against Claymore. So it's an all-team Liquid semi-final at top. You guys didn't tell me, by the way, how Max Specs did. How did Max Specs do, guys? Max Specs did beat Gerald, but lost the map. So obviously good job here by Gerald. Seems that Trigger lost 1-2 against Spirit. So Max Specs and Spirit. Is somebody covering that, guys? Maybe Statfest?
Which means that his...
Yeah, Statfest is covering that. So if you guys want to watch Max Specs against Spirit, you guys can do that over at Statfest SC. Zombie Grub, I think, is watching the same series as us. I'm not sure what the Cranky Ducklings are looking at, but they are looking at something too. Maybe Mana Club? Reynor accidentally win PvZ again? I don't think it's accidental. Reynor has actually been playing a decent amount. He's active on the ladder. He even played in the tiniest King of the Hill tournament that I think Reynor has ever played in. He linked it to me, full of pride. He's like, got 10 bucks, baby. I beat Beyond. I was like, well done, champ. You legend. Go after them.
Round 2. Fight!
Bottom right side of Site Delta, taking the 1-0 lead in the quarterfinals of this edition of the European Pro Tour Weekly, number 216 already. Big shout out to ESL. Because if it wasn't for them, you guys wouldn't have had this Monday night entertainment for over 200 weeks on this channel. It's Basilisk Reynor. No more Jack Frost era. I don't know what he calls his current era. I think it's the dickhead era. to be completely honest. And I believe in that era. Top left side of side Delta, we are looking at the main base of the man who played a good game. Even though he lost his 4th Nexus, he showed us that he will not go down without a fight. And sniped more lurkers with Stalkers in a single game that I've done throughout 14 years of StarCraft 2. This is BIG ShoWTimE. And BIG standing for Berlin International Gaming, of course. Do I think retaking the 4th is viable? Yeah. I think it was maybe hard for ShoWTimE to figure out exactly like where Reynor was at, how many drones Reynor was at, but I personally think that could have been a play. But sometimes just in the heat of the moment you make a decision, and maybe ShoWTimE thought he's hard committed on a lair tech army. He dealt damage, he killed my base, but he didn't kill me. If I show up with a bunch of Stalkers and a bunch of robo units and you don't have hive tech, I think I can kill you. That's probably the call that he made. He got close, to be fair, right? He got very close. If it wasn't for a couple of those corrosive balls connecting as big as they did, maybe ShoWTimE could have won that game with that push. But obviously that happens because Reynor is Reynor, and he's still active with a couple of Zerglings on the other side of the map, and he burrowed 6 roaches, unburrowed them in the natural, unburrowed them in the main, so it's just a dance, right, of trying to outplay each other. And I think in the end Reynor just slightly got the best of ShoWTimE, but they both look good. They both look good and they both had their moments. Reynor says in YouTube when he wins PvC. Ah, okay. If that was a reference to his video, mate, I haven't seen the video yet. You got me. I unsubbed off Reynor's YouTube a long time ago. I'm done with that kid. Just kidding. I'm a sub. I saw the video, I just didn't click on it. But after he posted that Home Story Cup video, and I literally dragged him to Home Story Cup, and he ended up winning it, and there was no shout out for the big man, I was done with it. Unsubbed. On the spot. Think we are in the unnamed era? The piss chilling era? No. I think the piss chilling era is also behind him. I think Reynor came to the conclusion that the piss chilling era is not quite the era for him. And he does feel that it's important to stay a bit more active. You don't have to go mega hard 24/7. You don't have to play in every single tournament. But the Reynor did already say, and I think he mentioned it in the YouTube video as well. I haven't seen it, but I assume that he mentioned this because he spoke to me about it. That he feels that he needs to be a bit more active throughout longer periods. And it's not just about not playing it all for 2 months and then trying to get in top tier shape within a month. Like, no, just play a couple games here, a couple games there, and just have a bit more activity across the board. Clemmer Reynor should do a PvP. I can propose it. I don't know if the other casters would be very happy with me if I... Oh, a couple links running in, by the way. There are a few more links waiting. Like 2 links, not that problematic. But if 6 links run into the main and natural, it will become problematic. Now, Reynor surrounds this Stalker, guys. Yeah, he could go for the probe. He should go for the probe. Reynor will go for the probe. I know there's an Oracle on the other side of the map. Not the start for D. Mauer. Stalkers are expensive, and you don't want to be losing them against 4 Zerglings. Happy Monday, Rendo Bub. So we're looking at a ShoWTimE that's just firing up Blink. Does not have a Forge yet. Most games we see a Twilight Council and a Forge go down at the same time. So ShoWTimE, I think, is willing to switch it up, and he wants to be a bit more aggressive with Blink Stalkers. They don't have any upgrades, but will show up a bit earlier. He's probably hoping that Reynor will just assume the same timings as usual will happen. This is a decent amount of links, by the way. There is no shield battery here in the natural. There are a couple Stalkers behind it. Those Stalkers have not been revealed yet. Reynor fires up 8 roaches. I think that ShoWTimE is kind of making this look like it's that Zealot +1 thing, but it's not. Instead, he's just going into a bunch of Blink Stalkers. The Links will get a kill on the pylon though. That's kind of annoying. That was going to temporarily supply block ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is now forced to reveal all these Stalkers here. Reynor did already make a bunch of roaches. Queens are, I think, gonna go for the oracles. But they both paid attention at the exact same moment. It's a bit of a confusing game. The pacing is a tiny bit off to me. That's so much energy, by the way. Not something I normally see, guys. A ShoWTimE oracle or any Protoss player at this level having this amount of energy. Ah! F's in the chat for that oracle. Get it up. 170, 180 energy, and it just dies in the middle of nowhere. Kind of feels to me that this second game is not quite it for D Mauer, as he's going to take some shots in this oracle too. I mean, the Stalkers have Blink. Blink count is 8, Roach count is 8, and 7 Queens. I don't think Reynor is in any trouble of losing, any danger of losing his 4th base. I don't really like it for D Mauer, guys. He is gonna drop a Templar Archives. How many drones have... We killed 0 drones. 7-minute game, 0 drones have died. That's very rarely going to be it. And another ShoWTimE is an incredibly good defensive Protoss. We all know that Overlord speed gets fired up. Seems that Reynor wants to go now for a similar attack that he went for against Disc a few times, but I think it has a lot to do with how this game has played out, what ShoWTimE has shown him. There's not even a Spore Crawler here, so now that one Oracle is going to activate Pulsar Beam. And after 7.5 minutes, finally there will be some economic damage, but Reynor is already on the other side of the map with a lot of army supply. ShoWTimE has 35 army supply. One of that is, a couple of that is that Oracle on the other side of the map. High Templars do not have Storm yet, so they're gonna get picked off. I think this is just it. Bit of a disaster game 2 for D Mauer, but Reynor is back on track, looking sharp and fast as ever. An 8-minute, honestly, domination. That's one of the most convincing victories that I have seen of Reynor over ShoWTimE in quite some time. Reynor didn't just win there, but he kind of dominated. He's gonna have to be very happy with that. So Reynor gets a 2-0 victory and moves into the semi-final, where he could potentially go up against the best Protoss on the planet. But are we there yet? We are not there yet. Statfest was the one covering that, right? Ah, very strong game too by Reynor. Obviously a little bit messy on the side of ShoWTimE.